Yeah, today we're going to do something a little different. Actually, it's nothing different. What we're going to do is today, we're going to take you into the mind of a solopreneur. Now, can you believe this? Because I'm going to ask you this. Did you know that rappers are solopreneurs? Entertainers are solopreneurs. So let me ask you this real quick. Let me ask you something. You know how every rapper started with that dream of being in front of Madison Square Garden, rocking it out, stadiums and all of this, right? They had that dream. They had a beat. And probably here recently, they've had that cracked iPhone. And back in my days, it was a 4-track. But they had that iPhone. You recorded in your bedroom, in the closet, with the blankets up. Yeah, you remember that? You understand what I'm saying? Well, check this out. If you haven't been paying attention, Jay-Z, went from selling CDs out of the trunk to a $1 billion empire. Now, if you really hadn't paid attention, Jay gave you the blueprint from day one. And when he sat down and he did the CBS Morning Show, he really gave you the blueprint. He told you, listen to every album. And every album is a transformation from a street hustler to an empire. Now, go back to another one. Nipsey Hussle. He sold mixtapes for $100 each and built a movement. Now, can you imagine you got a guy selling you a mixtape for $1, not $1, $1, $100, and built a movement? But some of you cats is out here complaining that your coaching program isn't selling. See, we transitioning how hip-hop and coaching and podcasting go hand in hand. Now, here's the one thing nobody's telling you. Rappers figured out the solopreneur game before we even had the word for it. They understood branding. They understood audience building. They understood multiple revenue streams, concerts, merch, you name it. They did it. They never got the credit. They understood how to turn pain into profit before your favorite business guru was ever even born. So you got to think about this. Hip-hop has always been the backbone to mostly everything since. Hip-hop was your news channel. Hip-hop was your fashion statement. Hip-hop was your counselor. Hip-hop was your business blueprint before we even knew it. How do I know? I was in hip-hop. Go back a couple of years, 2001, dropped the CD. Me and my homeboy worked for Def Jam. But we didn't understand what it was like to be in the position that we in now. Years later, I figured out the blueprint when I started doing some case studies. I'm like, why is it that the stuff that I love seems to fit the pattern of everything that we talk about? So if you're struggling to get your first 10K and you're trying or you're tired of the, trading time for money, or you're just wondering why your content isn't converting, this episode is definitely for you, man. If you're ready, grab your pen, grab your pad, and let's begin to rock out, because I'm here to tell you, this is about to change the way you look at how hip-hop and business go hand in hand. Let's do it.
Hey, solopreneurs. Are you ready to turn your one-person business into a thriving empire? Welcome to the Solopreneur Chronicles podcast with Anthony Porter. Each week, we're bringing you practical tips, real-life stories, and step-by-step frameworks to grow your income, build your brand, and find balance in your business. New episodes drop every Monday at 6 a.m. The perfect way to start your week strong. If you love what you hear, make sure to subscribe, share the podcast with your network, and leave us a review. Your support helps us reach more solopreneurs just like you. Let's grow together. I'll see you on the next episode.
What up? What's up, man? What's good, fam? Yo, welcome back to the Solopreneur Chronicles podcast. You know who it is. It's your boy. I'm Mr. AP, Mr. Anthony Porter. And if this is your first time tuning in, welcome to the community. This community is where we go from the block to the boardroom, and that's no cap. That's what we do. We're not trying to be nobody but who we are. I'm a street hustler turned podcaster after years and years of trying to figure out how to take what I learned growing up in a single parent household and turn it into a multi-million-dollar empire the legal way. All right. So today we're talking about something that's been on my mind super heavy. Because I am a fellow rapper, I'm a fellow beat maker, I want to talk to you about how rappers are literally the blueprint for every successful solopreneur out here. Now we gonna flip the game over here because here's the problem. The problem is it's so corporate that nobody's able to understand exactly what it is that's going on. And I'm not talking about being flashy with chains, flashy with the whips. Listen, man, we ain't out here driving Bentleys and Ferraris. Listen, that's for the artists, man. Shout out to all the artists out there, because I'm not taking nothing away from it. I'm talking about the business model, the mindset, the hustler's philosophy that turned kids with nothing into multi-million-dollar brands. A lot of folk right now are mad at the younger generation because they know how to get on the internet and take 20 minutes and turn it into 20 grand. Simple, right? No, it's not. But they figured out the blueprint. They just took and ran with it a different way. See, while everyone else was studying the people's like, and I'm guilty of this too, Gary Vee and Grant Cardone, Russell Brunson, Amy Porterfield, and even when I'm studying my mentors, David Sands, and all of these people, I had to think about something. Growing up, my business idols was Rockefeller Records, Hove over at Rockefeller Records, Dame over at Rockefeller Records. The artists themselves was my blueprint. That's what I was studying. And then as the younger generation came in, I started seeing people like Nipsey, who turned his neighborhood into a movement. And then you got to think about people like Chance the Rapper. My man stayed independent and still won Grammys. So these dudes understood something fundamentally about building from scratch that most of y'all are missing. Now look, I get it. You might be thinking, yo, what does rap have to do with coaching? Or what does rap have to do with a coaching business or my podcast? Check this out though, for real. Understand this. Pay attention. It has everything. Family, literally everything. Because at the end of the day, both rap and solopreneurs are about the same thing. Taking your authentic story, packaging it, and turning it into something that serves people while building generational wealth. So do me a favor. Open your mind. Take your mindset and sit back. And we're going to break down the 5 pillars that every successful rapper used that you need to steal for your solopreneur journey. You ready? Because I know I am. I'm so excited about this one because this goes back to the roots. All right. So let's talk about this, man. Pillar number 1 we need to discuss is this right here. Start with your story and not the product. Start with the story and not the product. You see, how I got into where I'm at now, it wasn't by luck. It was by chance. And I'm not talking Chance the Rapper. COVID hit. I was making beats in the house. I'm trying to figure out how I could sell these beats online and see if I can't get some placements. I'm trying to learn sync music. I'm trying to learn a lot of things. I'm investing and I wasn't getting no traction. And lo and behold, one particular night, as we was being shut down, I'm on Instagram and I'm following a guy named Gabe Schilling. And Gabe was basically like, start with your story. He got with Russell Brunson and they got this thing called Hook Story Offer. So as I jump into this, the first thing every successful rapper understands that most solopreneurs don't is your story is your product. Your pain is profit. Now, if you go right now, you go listen to a lot of people out here who do webinars and you sit there and you listen to them. They're going to tell you one thing and it's a repetitive situation. People buy off emotion. So that particular night I learned something. Because my emotion was I wanted to get successful. I wanted to follow this blueprint. I wanted to learn how to make these beats, right? I wanted to be able to market my beats. I knew how to make beats, but I didn't know how to do no marketing. So that night was a contest. I won the contest, got this course, and I was scraping to get the money to get the course. It was like $500. I could have went and did the illegal way, but I chose to do it the positive. Now think about it. A lot of people didn't buy Jay's first album because it had the cleanest beats or the most expensive production. They bought it because of the stories that was being told. They bought it for the stories that was being told by a kid from Brooklyn who turned drug dealing into a business deal. He made his struggle relatable and inspiring and inspirational at the same damn time. So you got to think about this, man. When you flip that and you flip the business, you're out here trying to sell results and transformations, but you're not sharing the story of how you got those results. See, for me, I came from the block to the boardroom. I always had an entrepreneur mind. I just didn't have nobody guide me at the time. See, you're not talking about the 2 a.m. nights where you wanted to quit. See, you ain't talking about that. You're not talking about like I do when I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning after going to bed at 12 o'clock just to get up to shoot a promo, just to upload it to Instagram and TikTok because I'm promoting, to go out here and put together reels and get back the B-roll footage. You're not talking about that. You're talking about all the shiny objects. You're not sharing the mistakes that cost you thousands, but taught you millions. See, nobody's understanding how when I was making beats, I was doing exactly what I was. You give away 5 free beats. I didn't have the email list because I had the beats. I was like, oh, let me get these beats. So let me build this funnel. And when I built the funnel, it was doing it. But I wasn't collecting the list the way I needed to because I didn't know how to set it up. So this is why I learned the hard way. People don't buy off credentials. You could have a bachelor's degree. And listen, this is the business world model right now. Everybody wants to walk around, hey, Esquire. Like because you got a bachelor's degree, you got a master's degree, you got a doctorate. In the corporate world, that works. In the corporate world, that works. In the online education world, how'd you get to that point? People want to know how you got from point A to point B. Okay? That's what they want to know. They buy your journey. They don't want to hire the person who never fails. If you are too perfect, you don't fit. What I look like trying to sell my coaching program, and I ain't never told nobody, man, my first couple of years, I made probably $200. And that's because I was selling things for $7. $200. I didn't understand the marketing. I didn't understand none of that. I was failing, but I wasn't discussing that until I started listening to Hook Story Alpha. And once I started reading .com secrets and expert secrets and studying Russell Brunson and studying Grant Cardone, and then I realized these folk buying off emotion. So understand this, when this episode is over, here's what I need you to do. Take 5 minutes, record your origin story. That's the original story. Talk about where you came from. Talk about what it is that got you to the point that you at right now. Man, don't be afraid. Talk about the struggle. Talk about the breakthrough. Because guess what this is? In pillar number 1, this is the brand foundation right here, which leads us to pillar number 2. Building an audience before you build a business. Have you ever heard of people saying, man, I ain't giving away nothing for free? Now, this is where most of y'all get this crap twisted. You're trying to build your business before you build an audience. And that's backwards, fam. That's totally backwards. Every successful rapper understands this. His first fans, Drake didn't start selling tickets until he had people singing his songs. Kendrick didn't launch a clothing line until he had a cult following. Can you imagine? Understand this. Going to Madison Square Garden. Matter of fact, where I'm from, we have the Yum Center. Back then, it was Freedom Hall or Louisville Gardens, and even Papa John's Cardinal Stadium. I'm going to use the most recent with Papa John's Cardinal Stadium. Beyonce came a couple years ago. I'm struggling, trying to build my coaching program, and at the same time working a regular 7:30 to 4. I'm riding past the stadium. I just want to see the people, crowd. Couldn't get through. People crossing the street. Took me 20 minutes to get from a light to another light. I wasn't mad. I'm trying to figure out what's popping. But before she was Queen Bee, she was just Beyonce with Destiny's Child and Miss Knowles and Mr. Knowles. But when she decided she was going to be a solopreneur, she built a fan base first. And see, the problem is when she built her fan base, she already had fans. But when she transitioned from Destiny's Child, which was one of the hottest girl groups out, to the Queen Bee, Sasha Fierce, come on now. The Beehive, come on now. Better not say nothing bad about her. And you better not say nothing bad about Taylor Swift, because the Swifties is going to come. But the problem is, course creators, they create a course before they have a fan base. Like, give them something free, man. Build a website, give them something free. And then they wonder why ain't nobody buying. Nobody's buying because they don't know who you are. You skipped the most important step, building people who actually care about what you have to say. Here's the game. Content in your mixtape, your podcast, your Instagram posts, your YouTube videos, that's your mixtape. You got to look at it. Your mixtape, podcasting, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. That's your mixtape. You're not trying to go platinum on one of the first songs that you ever do, right? You're trying to build a fan base who will ride with you for the long haul. You heard what I said. You're building relationships every single day because you want to drop information that's very valuable, that hits a pain point every single day. You have to be consistent with your content. And you got to stay on your audience's mind. See, I remember when I first started, I was so focused on launching my first coaching program that I forgot to build an audience. I forgot to deal with the people who actually wanted to buy it. But I had a beautiful sales page. I had 0 people to send it to. Don't make that mistake. Now, stay with one platform. Master it. Build your first 1,000 fans, then expand. You got to learn how to do this, man. So, again, you're asking, how does hip-hop play into the game of online coaching? I'm giving it to you right here. Jay had New York in the palm of his hand, and most New York rappers do. But Jay had the world of hip-hop in his hand. Once he got hip-hop and New York together, he started venturing out. And this is where he started building multiple revenue streams from day one. Because in the back of his head, he knew he wanted to be a billionaire. He knew he didn't want to have to do anything else. So his albums were super spicy. And here's where it gets spicy for me, because this is one of the most influential and one of my most favorite parts, because this is what rappers really show you how to be a business genius. So everybody think that they going on stage and they just saying words and they don't know what the hell they talking about. But here's where they are super smart. Look at a successful rapper's portfolio. They don't just make money from music. They got album sales, concert tours, merchandise, brand partnerships. They got a record label deal. They invest in things. Sometimes they got liquor brands, clothing lines, tech companies. They understood the diversity and the diversification before they knew what that word even meant. Now look at your business. Are you still trying to make money from a one-on-one coaching program? Are you still trading hours for dollars? That's the amateur hour, fam. That's the amateur hour, fam. See, the rapper motto is create one and monetize everywhere. Listen, one song becomes a streaming revenue, concert performance, a merchandise design, a brand partnership opportunity, sync deals for movies and TV, and content for social media. Let me help you out on something. Shabutsy, right now, remixed Everybody in the Club Getting Tipsy, but he made it a country song. Bro might not ever have to work again because it's been on TV platforms. He's performed it. He's been on award shows. He's touring. He's doing everything. Your content should be the same way. That one piece of valuable content should become your podcast episode, your YouTube videos, Instagram posts, email newsletter, content, a blog post, and even parts of a paid program curriculum. But you stuck because this is what you're taught. You have people over here who want to teach you the old way. Now I'm saying hip hop because that's what I know, but let's not just stick to hip hop, because hip hop and country are running 1 and 2 neck to neck. They flip flop almost every other month. So when you got people like Jason Alvin, I hope I said his name right. Country folk don't come from me because I'm giving y'all. Hey man, trust me, I study. Okay, when you got Taylor Swift, Lady Gaga, you got folk like this on the pop side, the country side. Back in the days when you had Celine Dion, Garth Brooks, then you had the metalheads who like Ozzy and Queen and Duran Duran and Bon Jovi. And Smashing Pumpkins. Boy, I used to rock the Smashing Pumpkins. I ain't gonna front. I used to work at Dunkin' Donuts, and the Smashing Pumpkins would come. Boy, time to make donuts. But these solopreneur, these musicians, they had the blueprint. Now the real key to everything is this, and this is straight from the Nipsey Hussle playbook. You price your stuff at a different level for different people. Nipsey sold mixtapes on Crenshaw for $100 each, but he also gave away music online. So he understood that some people wanted to pay premium for exclusive access, while others needed the free entry point. Some of y'all don't even want to give away nothing for free. You keep hearing that, you got to get your money up front. No, what you have to do is you have to have some valuable content to show that you are that person that people can trust. You're not a scammer. Your business should have the same structure: free content for the masses, mid-tier offers for people who are ready to invest, high-ticket services for people who want the full transformation. Stop trying to serve everyone, man. You can't do that. And please stop trying to serve everyone with the same price point. You definitely can't do that. So understand this, because in pillar number 4, we're going to talk about this one too, because authenticity is your competitive edge. See, this is where a lot of y'all lose the game. Bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, 2 strikes, 3 balls, 2 strikes, fastballs coming. You strike out because you don't know. You think you need to sound like everyone else in your industry. Why? Be yourself. You think you need to use the same buzzwords, the same strategies, the same energy as your competitors. Why? No, you don't. Listen, I learned a long time ago, because I don't wear a suit all the time. Why would I go into a business meeting with a suit on? And then I know some of y'all saying, well, that doesn't make any sense. Yes, it does, because I had a relationship with a TV producer in my city. He was actually the president of the network in my city. We go on golf scrambles. I'm running out trying to buy the Flyers golf gear, man. I pull up. He's in cargo shorts, flip-flops with a can of beer in his hand. Now I'm comfortable. But I tell you this, I learned that from them, but here's what rap taught me. The most successful artists are the ones who sound like nobody else. Man, Kendrick don't sound like no damn Drake. Cole doesn't sound like Future. Nobody sounds like Weezy F Baby. Nobody produces like Dre. Nobody writes or raps like Jay. And when it comes to anything else, hey man, the Locks hands down, top 5 dead or alive with Jada. See, authenticity is not a liability. It's your biggest asset. Building a business is not something to hide. It's a superpower, because you're showing other mothers that they can do the exact same thing. The fact that you started late in life is not a disadvantage. It's a wisdom advantage. You've gained enough knowledge to say, okay, the fact that you don't have an MBA is not a weakness. It's a reliable fact. Listen, it is your relatable factor. It's where you are like, okay, I don't fit in with everybody else, but here's where I fit in. You see, when I started this podcast, I was trying to sound like all the other business podcasts, professional, polished, corporate. That was boring. Nobody cared. Nobody cared as long as I gave them the knowledge, they didn't care. They still don't care. But when I started being myself, when I used the mixtape street wisdom, businesses was like, hold on, man, we gotta mess with dude. When you start sharing the real struggles and your wins, everybody wants to be a part. So stop trying to be the next Gary Vee and be yourself first. Now, this is the part I truly love, because I wake up every day motivated to do this. And that's pillar number 5. Turn your haters into motivation. See, last but not least, let's talk about something every rapper deals with, every solopreneur deals with, but everybody needs to master this. All right? That's hiding the hate, man. When you put yourself out there, people gonna come for you. Period, point blank. It doesn't make a difference. When you put yourself out there, people gonna come for you. When you start building something, people gonna come for you. When you start succeeding, the haters come out. So let's be clear. That's not a bug. That's a feature. All right, that's a true feature. When you start building, the hate will come. Remember how the Field of Dreams said, build and they'll come? Prime example. This means you're doing something right. Every successful rapper and every successful solopreneur has a hater to either their course or their song. But notice, they're not crying about it or letting it stop them. They're using it as fuel. There's a rapper named Russ, independent, millionaire over. People hate on him because he's independent and he won't sell out to the system. He uses that as fuel. He's turning the negativity into his content. Logic is another one. They turning things like negativity into motivation. And the proof is in what they're doing. Look at Chance the Rapper. He basically said, I'm not signing to nobody. Grammys, enough said. So see what they did. You need that same energy in your business. When someone leaves a bad review, when someone talks trash on social media, when someone says your prices are too high, that's not a reason to quit. That's confirmation you're playing at a level they not ready for. And that threatens people. Telling you, baby, I love it. How Ric Flair do it. He stepped back, do his little dance. I love that part. I remember my first big hater came from the side of my area, my circle. Left a whole paragraph on the Instagram talking about how I was a scammer and how my content was trash. My first instinct was to delete it and hide it. But I was like, I want you to see it. But then I thought about it. I was like, man, rappers handle this like all the times. Plus, back in the day when I used to rap, we used to get pitted against another rap group from our city. And we used to sit back and laugh because we used to meet up. God bless both of them who have passed on. But we used to meet up and talk about it. So one day I decided I was going to screenshot it and post it on the story and said, this is how you know you're winning. Free promotion for haters. The post got so much engagement. Everybody was hitting the post up in a week, right? And guess what? 3 people bought the program the same day. One of them just happened to be one of the guys that I mentor right now, and he's doing great with his podcast, and he's helping his buddies, and they're starting a joint venture. So yeah, they're telling you what triggers people, makes people uncomfortable. What you're doing that's different. Use that information, double down on it, and see what works. All right, man. I have to laugh because I'm sitting here thinking about some other stuff that has gone on in the world, and this is not the platform to talk about it, but it's the same thing, man. So Look, we've covered the 5 pillars that rappers use to build empires. All right, so we understand that, and I know your head is probably spinning with ideas right now. You probably like, oh snap, man. You probably thinking about your story, your content strategy, your revenue streams. But here's the thing: information without implementation is just entertainment. And I don't want you to just be entertained. I want you to be transformed. All right. That's why we created something specifically in specialty for people like you who are ready to stop playing the small time game and start building something real. It's called the Solopreneur Playbook. And it's extremely what it sounds like. It's a step-by-step blueprint to turning your knowledge into an experience and into a profitable business. Now, in this playbook, we break down everything we talk about. Everything. And we got some other cool stuff that we added to it. So it's not even a playbook. It's more or less like a bundle. So tap in, get the bundle. And yeah, man, rock out. You a solopreneur? Rock out. Now, if you're tired of spinning your wheels and you're ready to start earning that money, you want to build something that works, grab the Solopreneur Playbook. Grab the bundle. All right. It's completely free. Well, the playbook is free, but if you want the bundle, it's different. So join the community, Solo Empire Network. I'm going to leave a link for that down below. Join the community, get in the community so you can start building a rapport with people with like minds just like you. Whether you're a podcaster, course creator, whether you are an entertainer, even if you're a rapper, it doesn't make a difference. Join the community and learn how to be your own business empire. Now, I know this episode was different, and I love giving you the flavor from the block to the boardroom. Remember, your assignment, record a 5-minute origin story video and post it. And here's what I need you to do. Once you do that, just do me a favor. Tag me on Instagram at I am Anthony Porter. And let's see what we're doing, man. Now, until next time, keep grinding, keep growing. And remember, from the block to the boardroom, we rise together. We out of here. Peace.
Thanks for tuning in to the Solopreneurs Chronicles podcast. I hope today's episode gave you the insights and inspiration you need to take the next step in your business journey. If you enjoyed the show, do me a favor, subscribe, leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and share this episode with a fellow solopreneur. Your feedback means the world to me and helps us reach more people just like you. Let's thank our producers of the show, Sincere and Charlie Straughter, Rhea Cash and Theory Porter. So don't forget, for more tips, tools and resources, subscribe to the show. So just keep building, keep growing, and I'll see you next time.